Hey guys, welcome back to Tip of the Spear. We're going to be talking about a couple of things, but first, I want to apologize on my behalf for having the flu. So that's why this episode is coming out late. But we're here, we're excited. We did the first episode, we loved it. We hope you guys loved it too. We're seeing your comments on Spotify, so leave comments down below with whatever you guys want to see. We have some more upcoming stuff later in the future. I saw that we wanted a 2024 quarterback redraft. I also saw that I need to look at the camera more, so that's what I'm doing. I switched from my dual monitor. But I'm here with Cole and my father. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
Fantastic.
Doing very well. I think we have a couple of things that we want to go over, starting with, Durante Jones. But first, we have a historic moment. I think we were going to say a historic moment that happened in 2022, right? Right, Dad?
Yeah, today, 2/2/22. It's an anniversary of one of the greatest days in Washington, D.C. football history. Do you guys know what that was?
Well, I have no idea, actually. I don't know. What was it?
2/2/22. That's when we became the Commanders. That's when Danny
Oh,
Snyder, Danny Boy, gave us the middle finger and gave us the absolutely worst football team name he could possibly come up with. On his way out of town, he took a giant dump on all of us. And absolutely, Red Wolves was number one, and they took the Commanders. But I personally, I'm like Grayson. I'm partial to the Spear. So I wish we would at least, if you're going to keep that ridiculous name, that you get rid of the woke W and you have a spear on the side of the helmet.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I will have to, contradict you a little bit. If it were me, I would have chose Commanders over Red Wolves. I don't know. I think Red Wolves sounds like a soccer team, if I'm being completely honest with you. That's just my opinion. I know there's other names out there, but it would just been a good thing if we just didn't change the name because, I mean, we could get into that could be a whole different topic. But today we're going to be talking about Durante Jones, number one. Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't know how you guys feel about that. I can give you some rundown of his history and in his coaching career. But let's hear your thoughts first. What do you guys think about him?
Well, I'm a pretty decent fan of the hire. I know, like my dad's gonna say here, it's another guy with not a whole lot of experience. So I know we were kind of looking for guys with experience for this year when it came to coordinators. But all things considered, I think when he's coming from the what was it, the Brian Flores tree,
Yeah.
um, he was their pass game coordinator or their D-backs coordinator or something like that.
I
And they
think
had
so.
one of the best secondaries in the league last season. I think it was like second or something in like adjusted yards or something per game. So and obviously that's not just the secondary. You got to have a defensive line and stuff like that in there. But I think if you can take a little bit of what Brian Flores was doing, implement it over here, the way I see it is like we can't possibly be any worse than we were last year. Even if we end up 20th in defensive rating this upcoming season, that's a massive improvement of where we were.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can take anybody, plug them in right here, and I think anybody's gonna be better than Joe Witt. Um, Me personally, I would have almost rather have seen Dan Quinn continue to call plays. I know that's a bit of a hot take, but at the end of the day, he's a new guy just getting his start. Got to give him a chance, see what he's got, and I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment until we probably reach about. Well, for me, it usually happens around week 4. So as soon as week 4 hits, and I don't see any massive improvements, or we see the same thing we saw last year, then it'll be critical. But for the time being, I'll be behind him, and I'll see what he can do for us.
He makes me nervous. He makes me nervous just because of Joe Witt. Joe Witt was supposed to be some great guy from Dallas, and he was a buddy of Dan Quinn's. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of the tree and the coach he's worked under, and Flores is a beast. That guy, his defenses are always on the quarterback. They're constantly blitzing, but obviously, it's going to come down to players. He can only coach what he has, in terms of players. I did hear that he did fire Ryan Kerrigan, which I thought was interesting, and that means the guy's got some balls because he fired what is he? I think he leads the team in all-time sacks. So you're coming in and you're saying, look, I'm not going to keep somebody just because he's a legend. I'm going to keep somebody that I think can actually coach. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it goes. But I'm a little bit nervous. But hey, at this point, we couldn't be any worse,
Yeah. I feel
right?
like as fans, it's hard to be like you watch on the outside. You're not in house learning about the coaches, everything to a T. You're kind of just watching from an outside perspective. And as a Hokie fan, you don't believe it until you see it, sort of thing. So I love to be, passionate in my coach. And like 2 years ago or a year ago, I guess you could say, I thought we were going to go back to the playoffs. But what happened? We disappointed everybody, unfortunately, but I think we can bounce back. Um, some of Durante Jones, some of his history. He actually used to play cornerback. I think it was maybe for not Murray State. I couldn't tell you the college that he played cornerback for, but he has 8 years of coaching under his belt in the league. Now, it wasn't a primary position as a DC or anything of that nature, but I mean, we got to look at their defenses like you two were talking about. They've been dominant. And other than, I guess, Harrison Smith on the Vikings defensive, back space, I can't really tell you like a top notch player, but they always produce every single time. Um, you know, he's actually been a defensive coordinator in 2021 for LSU. It was one season. They averaged almost 20 points a game under him when he was DC there, and they finished 3-5 in the SEC, which is, I mean, the best college football that you're going to get. Even though that record doesn't speak to it, I mean, he got hired somewhere. It wasn't a DC, but he still got hired at the NFL again. So he was in the NFL, went to college, became a defensive coordinator, then came back into the NFL. Um, so, I mean, from a fan's perspective, I'm excited. It's a new coach. That's the happy part about it. Joe Witt's finally out of here, and we saw what he did. So,
So what does he do? Does he keep Bobby Wagner though? That's the key. Does he keep Bobby Wagner? Does he feel like Bobby Wagner's going to stay in the middle, or are we going to go draft a linebacker?
Cole, you want to answer that?
So I was actually listening to them talk a little bit today on the radio on 106.7 The Fan specifically, um, and they were actually having a pretty decent debate about it. They were weighing the pros and cons about keeping Bobby Wagner, and I think it was last week on here I was pretty much saying that I didn't want to keep Bobby Wagner just because of his age and the fact that he can't do pass coverage very well and stuff like that. He's a little bit slow on the defensive end. But the more I've been thinking about it, the more I was hearing people this week, they were talking about, just his leadership, number one. Like, he's been in the league forever. He knows what plays people are calling before they happen, whether or not he can cover them or not. Um, and whether or not, like, we still got Jordan McGee, right? Like, and I don't think Jordan McGee is going to be this everyday starter where he's going to come out and play 80% of snaps or something like that. And Bobby Wagner's going to take a back seat. But what I can see us doing is I can see us maybe taking, in the seventh spot, there's a couple of good linebackers there. There could be there, I should say. And say the best player available is one of them linebackers, like the guy from Ohio State. I can absolutely see us taking one of those linebackers and maybe re-signing Bobby Wagner on another 1-year deal, just keeping around to try to mentor the new guy, building him until the next season before he takes a big jump and takes over for Bobby Wagner. So, there's two ways you can play it. You can keep Bobby Wagner, but at the same time, our defense as a whole, Bobby Wagner included last year, was the worst defense in the NFL. So pieces need to be changed out. You got to swap players around. It's just going to see where the front office sees their priority, whether Bobby Wagner is going to be one of those guys they want to keep around or they want to get younger and faster at that position. So,
You know, one thing that I will say, kind of going back to Durante Jones and our defensive, scheme and everything like that. What sets coaches apart, obviously, is how they perform with their players, right? But you see these coaches have not like top tier players, but they're still, like I said, with the Vikings, they still perform. That's just what makes coaches different. They go out there, they know how to play. They understand the game, obviously, but they know how to position their players for them to go make plays. So one thing that I noticed, we had Mikey playing more inside, Mikey Sanderstill, inside rather than outside last year. And his rookie season 2 years ago, he was amazing. He was our best corner. He looked amazing. He was almost a Pro Bowler, I think, or something. But he was playing outside corner. And then we have this whole zone scheme where he's playing inside, trying to cover the slot guys, and he's getting beat like a drum. So it just makes me wonder how it's going to be. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. But if we can develop these young guys, we have a lot of talent, a lot of unheard of talent right now. Well, Mikey, Trey Amos, all these guys, Jordan McGee. I think he's going to be really, really good. He's built like Fred Warner. Now, is he going to be Fred Warner? Maybe not. But we just need solid guys that
I heard
understand the
them
game.
talking. I'm sorry to interrupt. But I heard them talking today that some people don't think Jordan McGee can do it, which is surprising because all I heard was great things about him, and he was supposed to be the natural Bobby Wagner replacement. But we'll see. I guess we'll find out.
There's also that dude from the Jags, Lloyd, I think is his last name, that he said today was going to enter free agency. And man, I think honestly, the more I think about that, I think that could be the play. Obviously, you have to throw a lot of money at him. We have a ton of cap space, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But you can lock him up for a relatively good deal, say 3 to 4 years, something like that. And then that way, with your first round pick, you can go a different direction. You don't have to focus on like the linebacker spot. Even if there's a linebacker there, you can maybe go for the best defensive end or the best wide receiver, like we were talking about last week with like Carnell Tate or that dude from, or was it Tyson from Arizona State or something like that. Yeah. Again, it's just going to really depend on if we spend money this offseason big time. Because like last offseason, we still had some of the most cap space in the league, and I feel like we didn't necessarily use it to the best of our ability. Like I think our biggest splash signing last season was Javon Kinlaw, $40 million or something like that for a dude that's supposed to be a run stuffer that we only got to stop Saquon Barkley. Yeah, he showed flashes. He's been decent, but we're giving up a large chunk of money for a dude that, I'm going to be entirely honest, is not the most productive guy on the field. So we need to spend our money in places and not focus on Philadelphia when we're trying to build a defense and focus on the rest of the league. Because if you focus on the rest of the league, beating Philadelphia in the playoffs or in your divisional matchups and stuff like that, it'll come. But you can't just be like, oh, let's get a big dude that's 350 pounds up in the box who can't really move all that well, and that'll be the only big move we do on the defense the entire year. Now, like what Grayson was saying with Banks as the new DC, he's been a corners guy. He played corner, and like Mike Grayson was just saying when you just went and took a quick break right there, he was pretty much saying that he saw Mikey Sammerstow take a big step back. Amos was showing flashes at times this year, battled a few injuries. I know that, and then obviously Marshawn Lattimore just takes up a roster spot. But I think
somebody said that he's still under contract with us. Is that true?
I think he's got one more year, I believe.
Oh.
But
do you actually try to?
I've been hearing things that he might get cut or something in between like these seasons or something like that. Either way, I'm gonna stay out of that. I don't really know a whole lot about that information. The point I'm trying to make is where we saw the big step back with our corners this past season under, I guess, Dan Quinn and Joe Witt. I think we can see a massive step forward because Mikey Sammerstow, like Grayson was saying, in his first year, he was an absolute stud. And he showed flashes again this year. He just regressed again. He was playing a different position and stuff like that. But with Banks coming in and being a corner guy, I think we can see a lot of development out of our corner room. And I think we can see Amos and – yeah, you got to mute your mic when you're not talking, dude. We can see Amos and Sammerstow take massive steps forward this year.
It's called having puppies. I can't help it.
Okay, one thing that I want to ask.
Having happy puppies.
No, asking a question to you guys. Now, Cole's talking about money. So we're going into the draft, and I think we can all three agree, and I think half the fan base can agree, or 80% of the fan base, we're drafting defense.
We should. Should, okay? Absolutely.
So what I want to ask is, there's a lot of guys on the offensive side in free agency. Do we double down on defense, or do we go after an offensive guy, offensive threat, or do we use our money, hopefully use our money in the correct way, whether that be offense or defense? But do we double down? Do we go through the draft? We get a defensive guy, then we go and get more defense? Because, I mean, I'll ask you guys, where do we need the most help?
Ruben Bain and Trey Hendrickson. Ruben Bain, Trey Hendrickson.
Strong disagree on the Trey Hendrickson.
One on either side.
Strong disagree with the Trey Hendrickson.
Imagine one on a rookie deal.
If you want to take up half your cap with one singular dude, get Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, the guy's a game wrecker.
Yeah, he's a game wrecker. But the Bengals,
horrible team.
Oh yeah, like our defense is better than the Bengals.
No, I just think he's motivated.
For what?
I mean, they're never going to do it, but they're never going to do it. But I'll tell you, if we could get Ruben Bain with the number 1 pick and sign Hendrick, imagine those two guys instantly. Even if you get Hendrickson, you sign him for a 2-year deal. You get both of those guys on either side, game wreckers. Even better, well, I think that guy. Who's the other guy?
David Bailey.
David Bailey, who won't be there. But if you could get even him, 2 defensive ends. The only problem I hear about Bailey is he's not going to be somebody that stops the run.
Yeah.
And the thing about Bain is they said he just blows people off the ball. I mean, he's super strong. His lower half is like, he's got thighs like Bo Jackson. I mean, the guy is built like a Mack truck. So you want a twitchy guy or you want a guy that's going to bowl people over?
Honestly, for me, to hell with stopping the run. Okay. We got Kinlaw for that reason. We paying $40 million for him. He can do it. Okay. I watched our secondary and us not be able to generate any sort of pressure on any sort of pass play the entire year. I think that should be priority number 1 because all last year, I think our defense was actually like about middle of the pack in run stopping. Like our run defense wasn't terrible. It was our pass game defense that couldn't stop anything. You can throw any route on 3rd down, and it was like, it didn't matter if it was 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. It was like, we just, as fans, we knew, hey, guess what? Here comes another free 1st down because nobody's going to cover. We don't have enough time. Nobody's going to generate pressure on the quarterback. So we just sit there, and it's like you're helpless and watching the opposing offense just run down the field not run down the field, throw the football down the field against us all the time. Where our defense had success last year was actually stopping the run. So maybe Kinlaw, maybe I'm a little too harsh on him. Maybe he actually did a little something that didn't really show up in the stat log.
They said he graded out as probably their best defensive lineman. I heard somewhere that he graded out higher than Daron Payne, which I was kind of surprised to hear that. And then I heard are we going to keep Daron Payne? You're right. I agree with you. I don't think we worry about the run at all, but I think the defensive ends, some can be a run stopper and some can be just a quarterback stopper. And I think that's the one thing I like about Bain is he's a half and half. He could do both, whereas I think Bailey can only do one. I don't know.
I will say, like, defensive ends are one of, if not the most important part of a defense because, yeah, you want a guy that can be a two-way, meaning he can chase somebody down if they're going to run the ball. But at the same time, how do you stop somebody from passing the ball consistently? You need an edge. You need somebody to get in there and apply pressure because less time means less time for the quarterback and inaccurate throws. We haven't really had, unfortunately, we let Montez Sweat go. Chase Young did have a decent 2 years after that. I'm not going to bring that up, but
Chase Young actually had a pretty solid year this year.
Anyways,
I mean, I'm not saying he should come back.
This year had a good year. He had probably his best year. But you know what else we're not talking about is a safety. We have a real safety that can actually blitz and get in. We didn't. I mean, God, the pressures that we had. Like I thought this year, Luvu was going to be this, massive monster, and I swear I barely heard his name called, hardly ever. Either he's out of position or they're just not using him right. It just feels like. The only thing, like Cole said, the only thing I ever saw on the defense was somebody getting beat. And Bobby Wagner had a ton of tackles. And Bobby Wagner is great against the run. Bobby Wagner was a beast when it's against the run. But on coverage, he gets waxed every single time. So somebody's got to be able to replace him. We definitely need 2 ends. And I think, who was the guy? Terrence Armstrong? Who was the guy that got hurt? It was like leading the league for a couple weeks on one of our ends.
Dorrance Armstrong.
Terrence, right? I think, but
Dorrance.
Torrance. He was good. Maybe he'll. I don't know. But there's a
You know,
lot of. But there's also the option of trading back because evidently this senior week I was telling Cole there's a bunch of players that really showed up that looked really
no,
good.
No,
we need it.
absolutely not.
We need a top notch guy. I think personally, I mean, your guys' opinion might be different, but I think the thing that we need most help in, or positions that we need the most help in, safety. Although I love Jeremy Reeves, love him, diehard guy.
Yeah, but he's
We
not a
need another
starter.
one. Yes, he is. Yeah,
No,
Jeremy Reeves is very good.
it was
I believe.
Quan Martin. Who,
See, we need two. Okay, we need a safety. We need an edge.
I agree.
Maybe we need a linebacker.
Yeah,
Um,
we
I
need all
think,
defense.
but I'll tell you some names that I see that could be prospects for us to sign in free agency if we spend our money. Okay, there's Jalen Phillips, that guy from the Eagles. He played for Miami. I think he tore his ACL or tore his Achilles, unfortunately, like 2 years ago or
Yeah.
3 years ago. Came back, had a great season with the Eagles. That's an edge guy that you could sign. Not a lot of money, okay? Not a lot of money. There's also Reek Woolen. Reek Woolen, I think he was a round one pick, first round pick, something like that. First round pick, goes to Seattle, has great seasons. That's a corner who's great. Okay. Yes. Maybe not need a corner, but that's another guy you could sign.
No, we
I
need
think
a
he's
corner.
20.
If we need somebody to take Lattimore's spot, I mean, you need somebody. You need three good corners, and I mean, if Amos comes back and Amos is the stud he's supposed to be, and Sanderson can fix what's going on between his ears, we still need a third one that's going to be a baller. We don't. I thought Amos was going to be that, and maybe he will be that, but we need a baller, and that's the one thing that Marshawn Lattimore lacked in talent. He had the attitude. If you can find somebody with that attitude and the talent he used to have, that would be awesome.
There's also a guy, Brian Cook from Kansas City. He's a safety. I think he's like 27. He was a top 100 player last year. That could be another guy that we sign safety wise. Now, I'm not the GM. I'm not Adam Peters. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just asking questions.
No, we're fans. That's
Yeah,
who we are.
but I mean, these are guys that you could go after defensively if we go draft somebody well, Ruben Bain.
I have to
Or
say though,
Caleb Downs.
don't knock the fans because Adam Peters didn't do a whole lot last year, in my opinion, that went right. And I think some of the fans out there probably could have picked a couple better players. And I think he'd spent his money a little more wisely, maybe would have been different. But the defense is what the defense is. And honestly, with Terry holding out, that really hurt our defense, I think, because it took them a while to get going. And I think we were off the field. The connection wasn't there between all the offense, the players, the receivers, people were hurt. So the defense was on the field a lot this year. And they were bad to begin with.
Yeah.
I think to kind of pin the whole thing on Terry, looking back on the whole thing, I went through, like the 5 stages of grief with Terry this season.
I'm not blaming everything.
Like, no, I know.
I'm just saying it hurt the defense because our offense was behind the 8 ball. It wasn't a well-oiled machine. And when you're not a well-oiled and you're getting a bunch of 3 and outs, which we weren't used to seeing with Jaden, that the defense wasn't built to be able to hold teams. I think we were built just to try to keep us in games, not win games. That's all.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a one-off season for Terry. I don't think we're going to see another season like this from him. Just because, he's been in the league for quite a while. God, it's been like probably, 8 years now or something like that, maybe more. And this is his first year I can really say with any sort of memory that he's had like any injuries. And yet maybe the holdout hurt him. Maybe it was bound to happen if he didn't hold out. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I do think this year I'm expecting a lot better things from Terry. I'm not expecting like the Terry season from a couple of years ago when he was like 28, 29, absolutely balling out and got like 13, 14 touchdowns or something like that. But I expect him to be on the field for 17 games. I expect him to do what he usually does and catch that contested pass downfield. I will say, switching over to the offense a little bit, since we're on the topic of Terry. What do you guys think about our wide receiver room, like as a whole? Because where I'm sitting right now, um, I actually I kind of like our wide receiver room, and I know that's not a popular take. I know most people want another stud, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to pull up another stud and get another certified wide receiver, like one or two, even maybe one to take over Terry or two to complement Terry. But when I'm looking at a wide receiver room, I really liked what I saw from Traylon Burks. He had that one phenomenal end zone catch that I'm sure we all saw replayed 100 times. Um, Luke McCaffrey showed a lot of flashes towards the tail end of the year before he got hurt, but again, he's coming off an injury and he really has improved himself. But I thought a couple plays that he made towards the tail end of the season before he got hurt were phenomenal. He made some great catches, had some massive plays. Now, I'm not saying Luke McCaffrey is going to come out and catch 5 passes a game and go for 60 yards. I don't think that's necessarily reasonable. But I think McCaffrey is one of those guys that can get 3 targets a game, maybe 3 catches a game, and maybe 45 yards or maybe even one catch for a big 60-yard gain somewhere. That can be a game-changing swing. But if we re-sign Debo, which I have a feeling we're going to, I haven't seen any reports to back that or anything like that. It's more or less a gut feeling that we're going to try to keep Debo here. And I would prefer to keep Debo here because actually I really liked what he did for us this year. Thought he was one of the shining pieces on a team that really had nothing to play for at all throughout the season. I thought Debo, even when he didn't have his great games and he fumbled the football occasionally or dropped a pass or whatever, I thought he still gave it his all. And that's what I want to see out of a player. And if we have a healthy Terry for an entire season, we never really got to see Terry and Debo on the field together until like the last 2 weeks of the season when it didn't matter anymore. So I think if you can scheme up those two guys, and maybe Treylon Burks is your 3, maybe Luke McCaffrey is your 3, maybe you draft a 3, whatever. I think our wide receiver room is actually in a pretty decent spot. But I'd like to hear what you guys think.
I think we need one more. I think we need a free agent, either that or I don't know if I even want to draft. I mean, I don't want to waste a first-round draft pick on a wide receiver the more I think about it. But I would love to get a first- or second-round talent as a free agent or work out a deal somehow with maybe get that guy from Jacksonville. I'm not a believer in Ayuk. I hear too many people talking about
No, I don't want Ayuk.
The trouble that he would bring, but I'm a little leery because they don't have to trade for him, and we may take a flyer. Adam Peters may take a flyer because he knows him and he was there. We may get, we may end up with him. But who's the guy, Grayson, that went to? He's at, I think he's at Jacksonville. Is it Brian Thomas? Is that his name?
Brian Thomas. I've been hearing reports that
he played with Jaden too, right? And they were
at
trade
LSU.
him. But then he had a good second half of the year. But I think we need one receiver on offense. Other than that, and a tight end. Yeah. That's the key. I think we need a tight end, and I think we're gonna. I've heard today that their number one target is the guy from Atlanta.
Yes. That's who I want to. Give me Kyle Pitts. Put him on my fantasy team. He's scoring 15 touchdowns next year for us. No. Yes.
Okay.
I love Kyle Pitts.
That's the guy.
I saw the one game, what was it, like week 17, where he went off for like 48 fantasy points, and I'm like, that's my guy. That is who I want playing tight end in Washington next season. I'm sorry. He's a wide receiver. He's what he is. He's listed as a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. He's a big, tall, fast wide receiver. Massive. And I don't want to go off Madden ratings, but the dude's got 90 speed on Madden. He's nuts.
He's never become what he was supposed to be. That's the problem. And then there's that guy
Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix. He hasn't had a really good quarterback. I'm talking trash on Kirk Cousins. He's serviceable. He's decent. He knows what he's doing. Let me backtrack. Penix I don't think is very good. I'm gonna sit there. I just don't think Penix is very good. However, Jaden Daniels is fantastic. Okay. And Jaden Daniels loved throwing the football to his tight end, okay? Zach Ertz at, 33 years old or something like that, got a stupid amount of touches, okay? Like, if you could flip Zach Ertz, again, I'm not talking trash on Zach Ertz. I love Zach Ertz. I'm so thankful for everything he did here for those couple of years he was here. Love him, great person, all that kind of stuff. But if you can get rid of Zach Ertz, who's more not necessarily a yak guy, he would catch the ball and fall down a lot of the time, try to preserve the body, and turn that into Kyle Pitts. You can turn those catches and falls into massive explosive plays. Man, dude, it sounds good to me, man.
I agree. He hasn't had good quarterbacks, but coming out of Florida, he was supposed to be the greatest thing ever, and it just hasn't materialized. And
he's still like 25.
What is his name, Grayson? Isaiah Likely?
And I'll give my piece. I know y'all have been talking about it for a while, but going back a little bit, backtracking just a little bit to our offense and our wide receiver core, something that I wanted to talk about that Cole kind of touched on. We never saw our wide receiver core healthy at all, except for week 1. I think week 1 happened, right?
No, not even.
We had Terry, we had Debo. No, we didn't even have Terry.
No, Terry wasn't playing week 1. Nah.
Terry was out, so we had Debo, we had Noah Brown, and that was it.
Well, and Noah Brown, he can't come back.
Yeah,
so there's one guy he's on the starting rotation is gone. So you got to replace him. Who's replacing him?
So Noah Brown, we didn't even see
Luke McCaffrey, baby.
But go ahead, Grayson. Sorry.
I'll say the one. Okay, if I had to choose between Isaiah Likely and Kyle Pitts, give me Isaiah Likely. I want Isaiah Likely.
Boo this man.
He has been an underused guy for the last 4 years.
For good reason.
Been at Baltimore. No, that's just because he had Mark Andrews in there.
Like Mark Andrews is a stud.
Exactly. He's not very good, okay? But he was.
And Isaiah Likely was behind him.
They had the little, his little, what is it?
Linsanity run?
Respect your elders going on over there at Baltimore, okay?
But it's also going to come down to money.
If Isaiah Likely comes here,
Isaiah Likely will be cheaper.
If Isaiah Likely comes here, he will be a dominant tight end in the National Football League. Mark my words. He is
actually
athletic.
Hold up. I want to take on what Dad just said right there. He'd be cheaper. Look at our cap space, dude. This is not the time to be like, let's go for the affordable option. No, we need to make a big splash for a big contract, get some guys over. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't need an Albert Hayesworth type, okay? I don't need to be paying somebody $200 million to sit and eat Cheetos all day. I want a big contract for an impact player. And then, like you were saying, too, with the draft, how you wanted to trade back, or thinking about trading back in the draft, not necessarily as you wanted to. I don't want to do that either, just because we need a blue chip player. Name a blue chip player on our team that's not named Jaden Daniels or Terry McLaurin. Maybe Bobby Wagner, just because it's his name.
I agree with you 100%.
Bobby Chosen.
Yeah. Chris Moore, while we're at it,
Cole, I agree with you. What the problem is, they don't spend the money. They had $28 million they didn't spend last year. What makes you think this year old Adam Peters is going to go spend
nothing?
The bank.
Nothing tells me that they're going to, but I want them to.
Me too.
And as a fan, we have this cap space. Why not use it? I mean, you see, okay, I'm going to swap sports here. You got baseball with the Dodgers, and they're like, there's no cap or nothing like that, but there's a luxury tax. And the Dodgers just said, to hell with it. We're just going to give everybody the biggest contract we possibly can. Money's not an object over there. Like, it just doesn't exist to them. So it's like, we have a salary cap here, reasonable salary cap. I don't see any reason to not fill that salary cap up, or at least get it close at the end of this year. I think after the last offseason, we still had like 60 or like 40 to 60 million in the cap that was still remaining.
Okay, but it also comes down to how you pick players and coaching, because I think it was 2 days ago, who has one of the highest salary cap money left over that they can spend this coming year.
Isn't it? Are you going to?
It's going to be the Super Bowl champions.
Patriots, right?
No, it's going to be the Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks. Now, you tell me how that team is going to the Super Bowl, and they have, I think, 37 million or 47 million below the cap, something ridiculous. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. So that just proves that it's picking the right players, and they don't have to be. If they're good, that's what I say. You guys really missed out because. And I'm going to get nostalgic here, but you missed out on the Redskins of old. The Redskins of old, they were a blue-collar team. You didn't have guys on those teams that were like superstar studs. Those guys were all on other teams. I mean, we won 4 Super Bowls, or 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks that turned out to be, I don't think one of them's a Hall of Famer. There's none that are Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Theismann? Absolutely. No chance he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer.
I'm looking it up.
You can look it up. We didn't have any. And it was all blue collar guys.
Doug Williams?
Doug Williams, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. He
What?
won 1 Super Bowl. Should be, but I don't think he is.
Well,
So, but anyway, I'm just saying that was proof there that and obviously it's different now. How much heart really matters anymore, I don't know. But because of the money, what people are getting paid, and I get it, right? I'm making $10 million a year, and I broke my ankle. And do I really want to come back when I can come right back, or do I want to take it easy and take a couple weeks off and make sure I'm feeling better? I mean, when you're making that kind of money, it changes things. But kind of getting off topic, but my point being that it is true. You get the right players, the right atmosphere, you coach them up right, and you get quality guys. They don't have to be those high-priced, I'm not knocking Antonio Gates or whatever his name is. What's his name? I'm sorry. The guy, Kyle Pitts. I'm not knocking Kyle Pitts. I would gladly take, if they choose him, believe me, I'd be pumped to see that guy out there, 6'6", 240. Could play linebacker if he wanted as your tight end, as long as he catches the ball.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm with you, Cole. I think we're all with you. Spend the money wisely. I don't know what they're saving it for, but that's why they have a general manager, I guess.
Yeah. Well, fact check came back. Dad's right. They're not in the Hall of Fame. I'm actually shocked to hear that.
I think Riggins is the only Hall of Famer.
Really? Isn't Mark Mosley in the Hall of Fame too? No. The only kicker to ever win MVP is not in the Hall.
Nope.
Man, all right. I need to have a conversation with the committee.
No respect. Redskins get no respect.
No,
but a couple offensive linemen that were the original Hogs that aren't in the Hall of Fame either.
Mm-hmm.
We may have to pull. We might have to get. I would love to sometime interview Greg Williams, JP's dad. Would be awesome to get him on here because I'm sure he has he could enlighten you guys to some old school Redskin stuff that I'm sure you guys get a kick out of. Some of the stories that I heard about that team or those teams, pretty awesome. But anyway, back to free agency too. I mean, obviously Cole seems to think we're going to keep Debo. I don't know if we're going to keep Debo, but if Debo goes, then what? Then where do you turn?
Listen.
Got to be a free agent or a draft pick.
Yeah, this is a stretch. But we have all this cap space, okay? We have all this money. We want to be a star team, right? Go get the stars. George Pickens. Could you imagine? Terry McLaurin and George Pickens on the same team?
When I think about it, they could.
He looked like a top 5 wide receiver. I mean,
do you think Dallas is not going to franchise tag him?
Dallas can't afford him, dude. They can't. They're paying Dak, I think, the biggest contract in the NFL, and they're paying CD damn close. The
luxury tax.
I don't think Jerry Jones. I don't think is going to do that. I really don't. And then, shit. What was I about to say?
What about the guy from the Eagles?
Yeah.
What about that guy?
AJ Brown.
Eagles?
No.
AJ Brown.
I don't want him. They wouldn't trade him there either way.
Sorry, I remember what I was going to say now. George Pickens.
Would you take Brandon Ayuk? I didn't ask you. Would you take him?
No, absolutely not.
If you could sign him?
If you can get him at league minimum, sure. But if not, if he wants anything over league minimum, no, I don't want him here. But what gets me excited about George Pickens, I haven't even really thought about that yet, is Terry McLaurin, I think, is still the best contested pass catcher in the league. George Pickens is arguably the best contested pass catcher in the league. If you have both those guys in the same wide receiver core working with Jaden Daniels doesn't even need to find a open wide receiver sometimes. He can just do the same thing that Russell Wilson did all those years and say, screw it, somebody is down there, and just throw a lob pass downfield for a 70-yard bomb.
One thing that I will ask too, the Commanders, when is the last time we've had speed on the outside? Okay. Debo. Yeah. I mean, he looked pretty fast. Terry, he's not that fast. I wouldn't say he's elite speed wise. Okay. But you have, look at Detroit with Jamison Williams. They have Amon-Ra, Jamison Williams looks great.
We could get Diami back.
Diami's
a free agent.
Look at Miami. Okay. They had Tyreek, obviously, but Jalen Waddle fast. Okay. How about, There's a guy on the Giants, Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a free agent. That guy's fast. I don't know if you guys have watched film on him. He is good. He's fast. He was their wide receiver one when Malik was out. That's a free agent. He could be good. He could be a wide receiver 3 if we keep Debo. He could even potentially be a wide receiver 2.
The only thing
He
that
is very
freaks me out
talented.
about free agents is, you search for them, and you look them up and they go free agent, and then they end up getting franchised. I don't know what unrestricted free agent means versus, it's so hard to tell who actually is available because of all these designations that I obviously don't know enough about.
Yeah, another thing as well when we're talking wide receiver room is you talking speed. What about Jalen Lane, Virginia Tech alum, right? He not phenomenal returner, but pretty much never got thrown the football in the pass game. Yeah, we get it. You're a Hokie, but we used a 3rd-round draft pick on him last season. 3rd-round pick for what? We used a 3rd-rounder on a return specialist. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't draft him just to be a returner, and if we did, then shame on us. You drafted him to potentially come in and fill a wide receiver role as well, and he's got that breakout lightning quick speed if he can put it all together. But I remember there was a couple times last year we had some big drops and big moments. Like his hands for me were a big concern last season. Not necessarily his speed or his route running ability.
Isn't he like a Debo kind of guy? Isn't that what they envision him being? Kind of like a Debo?
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I watched him firsthand at Virginia Tech. He was a dog. He made great plays. He was fast. Now, when he was being drafted here, I think he was tagged as a punt returner, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he actually?
I think he actually was. It wasn't even wide
shame on me.
receiver. It was punt returner. Like, I think that was the main thing that they drafted him for. Now, we saw a little bit of why he was drafted. I mean, I think he had 2 punt returns, something like that, for touchdowns.
No, he was a great returner. I'm not at all knocking that.
If they utilize him at wide receiver, he could be a threat. We just need to use him the correct way.
So what would be the correct way then?
Play him in the slot. I mean, that's what he's known for. Those chunk yardage plays. I mean, I wouldn't say he could be a deep threat. I mean, I'm not an offensive coordinator. I wasn't Cliff Kingsbury, but I will say, if I'm looking for something that could be a threat, what's always a threat on the field? Speed. Okay, on the offensive side, I want a fast guy. I want somebody that can go down and make the big catch. Terry can, but separation. You wouldn't need to make those contested catches if you were faster than the other person. So it's just my 2 cents.
Well, I think on offense, the number one person we should really make sure that we re-sign is Sam Hartman.
Why is that?
Because I don't know what that guy does.
He's there for the vibes.
Does he just carry Jaden's bags to and from each game?
He's there for the Instagram
make sure that
posts
he
for the
eats
40-year-old
properly.
moms.
He's there for emotional support. He's like an emotional support animal.
That's the only reason the 40-year-old women watch the game anyways. Is
I
because they see
guess.
Sam Hartman on the field.
I guess so. Hey, he's getting paid. I'm just jealous. But I think we need to keep him around.
No, I personally think if we have a guy
QB3
that's been on our roster for what, 2 years now? God, is it? Yeah, it's 2 years. I think he's been on the roster or more. Where
3, right?
We have a guy that
with Jaden, didn't he?
Been on our roster. Then comes what, week 14 or something like that? Week 14, and we go and try to find Josh Johnson over him, and he's been on the roster for 2 years. What is the point of having him on the team?
That game still pisses me off to this day. That entire game, that week, was it week 18 or whatever? And we're like, oh, we need the moral victory. We got to go out and kick the Eagles' third stringers' asses this week and absolutely kill our draft position. It's like as you can see, I'm getting worked up still thinking about it.
No,
like that entire game, not starting Sam Hartman, who every fan wanted Sam Hartman to start because, hey, maybe let's see if he actually has something. I know we saw the preseason; he was not good in the preseason. Let's just ignore that for now. But it's like maybe give him some snaps against like the Eagles' third stringers. See if he has something. See if he's potentially worth a roster spot. We know Josh Johnson's not going to be worth a roster spot next year. He's 40. Okay,
who's back up next year?
Probably Mariota again, honestly. Like, I
Mariota
mean,
might leave.
he could leave if we can keep him. I'd like to keep him though. He's a damn good backup. But like the whole thing, I still don't understand at all why. I understand the players play to win, but like we had the number 5 draft pick right there, and then instead we decided to get a moral victory against the Philadelphia Eagles, who, by the way, were still going to the playoffs no matter what. Like, think
They
yeah,
would
we
rather
killed their seeding, but like 2 seeds or something like that. Oh, big whoop! They
they
still
would
got
rather
there.
take they would rather take the win, Cole, than have Sam Hartman damage his face.
You know, I will say
I don't know how to respond to that. Just
this is a very extremely hot take, and I'm gonna sound really stupid for saying it.
Okay, then think before you say it.
Okay, draft position doesn't matter.
shut up.
Oh,
Shut up right now. It absolutely matters. What are we talking about?
You probably should.
What are we talking about?
Okay,
Okay.
right,
No. Yeah, I gotta hear
Explain
this
yourself.
explanation. I gotta hear this
I
explanation.
think draft position does not matter. Okay, I
Okay.
think the players will prove on the field. There's been plenty of first round, first overall draft picks that have been terrible. Then again, top 10 draft picks have been terrible. And these guys that go undrafted, these guys that are drafted in the third, fourth, fifth round, Bill Krosky, people like that, they will get found. Okay. I have had so many years of Emmanuel Forbes, awful first round pick, by the way. First round pick, terrible. Okay.
Late first round pick, by the
I
way.
just want I
He was
just
here.
want
He was terrible. He's a
well,
starter in L.A.
No, he's
he
still
still
not
got
good in
beat like a
LA.
drum the other day.
Yeah, he's still not good in
Coach.
LA. He put up pick numbers, but that's about it.
Now we're gonna go out here and we're gonna draft. Yes, I'm not saying I'm not fortunate and I wouldn't want to be in the position that we are right now with the 7th pick. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't say if I would rather take the 28th pick. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying no matter who's drafted, it'll show on the field. So you never know. We could get Caleb Downs, right? Everybody's rooting for Caleb Downs. What if he turns out to be a bust? That's just my question as a fan.
What's
What if he's
gonna
a
haunt me?
outside of Jaden Daniels, can you name a number 1 draft pick the Redskins have had?
Emmanuel
Been a
Forbes.
major impact player
Oh, impact
besides
player.
Jaden Daniels.
It'll be a Chase Young
See-
that one season. It's just
No, but I mean like a real impact player. So I kind of see what you're saying,
Oh.
Grayson. But then there's the only one I can think of off the top of my head is like Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor was an animal. I mean, he was a beast. That's the last before Jaden that I can think of, and I'm sure maybe I'm missing somebody that's a number 1 draft pick. And we've had all those picks, and none of them have come to fruition. But then
Last
for
year-
every one of those, there's like Dallas hits on Micah Parsons.
no, the
you know?
Eagles are the people that hit on every flipping pick, dude.
Yeah, and guess what? They're always successful every single year. They always have terrible draft position. Same with the Rams. Same with all these teams. Same with the Niners. People that are successful at all times, but they still find the players. How? That's just my question.
I think they take
What are they
risks,
doing different than we
like
are?
Jalen Carter was a risk, but they took the risk, and look what they got.
Beast.
I mean, they got a great player. Yeah, they have to manage him a little bit, but he's a great player. He's probably, if not the best nose tackle or whatever you want to call him in the league right now. And yeah, he's got a screw loose every now and then and whatever, but they took a chance. And I think sometimes a lot of teams, including our team, think we know better and try to steer away from guys that potentially could be great.
Okay.
Now,
Now, on the back half, though, I will say, going back to Emmanuel Forbes, okay, I think we could have taken Christian Gonzalez. I think we could have taken Tyreek Woolen. I think we could have taken like Devin Witherspoon, all these guys. But we decided to do what we thought
Look, that was
gonna be the best decision.
no. What
and try
Ron
to-
Rivera
That was
thought
Ron
was going to be
Rivera.
the best decision.
that was Ron Rivera. I
That
remember
guy.
I saw something on TV recently, and Cole, maybe you saw it too. Maybe it was you that showed me. Ron Rivera driving to Redskins Park.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, we got our
so
guy.
excited.
We got our
about hoping
guy,
that-
Emmanuel
hoping that
Forbes.
Emmanuel Forbes would be there for them at 7. And of course, nobody wanted him but us. And listen, he may end up being a great player, a decent player, but he was definitely not a first round pick. but he is starting for the Rams, and the Rams were one game away from going to the Super Bowl. Speaking of Super Bowl,
Well,
this
the
is the
Rams are out
first
now.
weekend with no football. I mean, it was so hard to get through this weekend with not a single game to watch other than the Senior Bowl. And somehow I missed that. I planned all weekend to watch that, and I look down and it's already over. But who do you guys got in the Super Bowl? I mean, anybody really believe in the New England Patriots?
Well,
Yes.
Because I'm shocked that the spread is only 4 points. Somebody believes the New England Patriots are going to keep it close, and that maybe Sam Darnold is going to throw up on himself like he does in big games. But the last game, Sam Darnold was freaking awesome
I
and dominant.
I I'll tell you what I want, who I want to win, not who I think is going to win. Actually, I don't know who's going to win, but who I want to win, I want the Seahawks to win, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I love Drake May. I think he's a beast. I think he shows out for the 2024 class of QBs. Um, he's very, very good. He's had a hell of a year. Some people might say, the road to the Super Bowl for the Patriots has been terrible, which I mean, I kind of agree with, but at the same time, they're in the NFL for a reason. Okay, all these players in the NFL, you still have to go out and beat teams. They might have been Mickey Mouse quarterbacks, whatever, but he still beat them. Okay, um, but he's gonna win a Super Bowl in his career. I think Sam Darnold. I'm I'm a story guy. Okay, I like stories. I like storybook, stuff. Look at Sam Darnold's career. Started at the Jets, horrible. Played horrible. Everybody that goes to the Jets, I'm sorry, Jets fans out there, but
Yeah.
awful. Thought he was done after that. Kind of like Geno Smith, also went to the Jets, awful. Came back, you know, never won a Super Bowl yet, but here's his opportunity to go. He got signed, obviously, to the Vikings, revived his career, came to the Seattle, revived his career even more, and he's going to the Super Bowl. I think he deserves it.
We'll see. I'm not sold on Drake May. I mean, I know a lot of people are, and I know he's in the running for MVP, but um, I think he's a really good quarterback. People comparing him to Tom Brady because he's in New England as a second year player. Come on, dude. I mean, there's nobody. I hate to admit it, but there's nobody better than Tom Brady, Joe Montana, all those guys. That even I love the old, Dan Marino. I love all those guys, quarterback talent and all that. There's nobody ever going to beat Mahomes. Is never going to beat Brady. It's just not going to happen. And to compare that poor kid to Tom Brady already, I think is a disservice to him and to Tom Brady. Now, I do think he's really talented. I think he's really good, and I think he's a great game manager. Okay, which is important. But I think the point
So,
is,
that's a choice of words right there. That is a choice of words.
but I
We're not
think
gonna
that
like that.
I think that's what he is. He's a game manager. You don't see. I mean, he throws a couple deep balls, but he does a lot of the dink and dunk. And I'll tell you, the one thing about him too is that if you look at not him but their team, they were lucky. They played the soft schedule like we did, which hey, we made it to the NFC. We went to the championship game, same exact type of scenario. Probably the worst schedule or easiest schedule in football. And then they go up and they play a team that's 14, has the same record, the Broncos, who actually played a tougher schedule, and they could barely beat a team without a quarterback. Now, granted, it was a blizzard, okay, but they could barely beat the Broncos with a backup quarterback who, I'm sorry, as much as they tried to talk him up about being this great quarterback, this guy had been in the league a couple of years, there's no chance they were going to beat Denver. I mean, I guess there was a chance, but so we'll see. It is going to be a good game. I still think Seattle blows the doors off these guys, and I hope that they don't because I'd like to see a close game. But the last thing I want to see is the New England Patriots win a Super Bowl after having two horrible seasons in a row this quickly. I mean, it just doesn't seem in Seattle. If I could be wrong, but I don't think they've ever won a Super Bowl. I think they
No, they
went
have.
to a Super Bowl and they lost. Russell Wilson through that, and wasn't that was against New England too, wasn't it? God.
They've won I think multiple. I know they won one with Russell Wilson. Russell
Seattle
Wilson won
won
one.
one. Okay, yeah, I remember the one where he threw the interception on the goal line. And I thought that was actually to New England.
Did they win with Russell Wilson?
I don't think so. Let me look.
I know they won one.
Well, they may have, but I know they lost the game against New England. I'm almost positive on an interception on the 1 yard line where everybody's like, "Why aren't you running Marshawn? What is it?"
Wow. Okay. They do have a Super Bowl 2014 with Russell Wilson, so way before.
Who did they beat? Who did they beat? Do you know?
Let me look.
Denver?
No,
it was Denver. Yeah, that was a Super Bowl. 43-8, the absolute blowout ass kicking against Denver.
So that's great. So then they have won one. Okay.
They have, but I just, like I said, I'm a storybook guy. I need Sam Darnold to win.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold in college was a baller. He deserved to be the number 1 pick in college, as a lot of them do. But
yeah, I'm also a storybook guy. I'm a huge fan of what Sam Darnold has done. Like Grayson was saying, started off the Jets, completely written off there. Went to Carolina, once again written off in Carolina. And then I don't remember where he was last. Was he at Minnesota last year?
Yep.
Yeah, he was in Minnesota. Had a great resurgence year. Went to another team. Most people thought because he no longer had Kevin O'Connell, he'd fall off the face of the earth again and be the same Sam Darnold we saw. And then he comes out and he has another fantastic year. Like I love what I see from the dude. I really want him to win one. It'd be a phenomenal story. And the way I see it too is like Grayson was saying, Drake May's probably going to end up winning Super Bowl at some point. I just think like he's got a lot more time to do so than maybe Sam Darnold does. Like if they're not back this year, maybe in a couple of years they'll be back and stuff like that. And then when it comes to Drake May, when it comes to if he is in fact the best quarterback in the draft class or whatever, I still like. I'm not a Drake May hater by any means. Actually, I like the dude quite a bit. And so this is not trying to be like hater or critical of him, but it almost like this playoff run seems like his team is winning the games in spite of him.
Yeah.
Like
some fumbles and picks. And
I think he has like, if not the most or like second most turnovers of all quarterbacks. He had like 4 fumbles in one game against five fumbles in one game against the Texans. But C.J. Stroud exists, and C.J. Stroud might be the worst playoff quarterback I've ever seen. Yeah. So like Drake May, I still don't think he's been that good in the playoffs. He does just enough to win. And I'm not going to come out and say he's a game manager at all, because I think he's insanely talented. And I think although he struggled in the playoffs this year, it's also his first time in the playoffs. So the fact that he's made it all the way here while not playing up to what he played during the regular season, he's still in his second season. The Patriots have a ton of cap room. Hell, if they don't win it this year, I can see him coming back next season or the season after that. Coach. They have a great base to work with and a good quarterback. So I think to finish it off here, since we're getting close to the hour mark, we'll address one of those Spotify comments. Yeah, how about we?
I got one other thing I want to talk about real quick, just on the quarterbacks. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years ago, we had Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Who was the other?
Caleb Williams.
J.J. McCarthy and Penix too.
Okay, well, forget those guys. Were they number 1 picks? Or were they first round?
I think no, yeah.
Anyway, those top 4 guys.
I think they all were.
The top 4 guys that we laid. Is it true? They've all been to either an NFC or AFC divisional championship game.
Yep.
Yeah, every single one of them.
That's
I mean,
so that
I don't know.
Can
we count Bo Nix because he didn't play?
Well, he earned it. I mean, he didn't play.
I'm more or less just joking.
But I'm just saying, if he had a freak injury, and I honestly believe, if he hadn't broken his ankle, they win that game. They beat New England. I honestly believe that. But it's amazing. It just goes to show you that a bunch of teams are going to have good quarterbacks. It's going to be fun football for years to come with these guys. As long as Jaden stays healthy and these guys keep getting better, it's pretty scary how the NFL can be in a couple years with these guys. It's kind of like Marino and Montana and all those guys when they were together. It's pretty exciting. But anyway, Cole, you were going to say Spotify question since we're getting close.
Well, you pretty much were started on the topic. I was actually going to do the QB redraft, the first 4 quarterbacks.
Okay.
So I want to hear Grayson go first, and then we'll just kind of work our way down. Put the pressure on him.
Do I answer as a Commanders fan or
not independent?
Well, I think out of the four, we're just going the four, right?
Mhm.
I don't think I've talked about JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix because I mean, really, I haven't seen like very amazing things out of them. Um, this is tough. We got a lot of, I mean, like you said, they all made it to I think NFC AFC championships, right? So
Mhm.
they all have talent, obviously. Okay, I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan. I know everybody's gonna hate that. I don't really like Caleb Williams. I think he's very athletic. He makes great plays. But I also want to say he's in a very, very good system right now. So, I mean, he has all those weapons. Okay. And that's what I really look at as a fan. Okay. I see weapons on the field and I see your coach too. Okay. I see DJ Moore.
I'm
I
still waiting
see,
for your picks.
I'm going through it.
He's stalling.
DJ Moore.
This is so easy for me.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
I can do it right now.
I can do it easy too.
I,
You don't have to justify yourself.
Listen, I'm gonna say Jaden Daniels is number one. Okay,
Okay.
and
All right.
I'm saying that because we watched his first season in the NFL, healthy season. Okay, and we saw it was the best by any rookie quarterback ever. And we could go into second year. Yes, we could go into second year if he turns out. We can have this conversation a year from now. You guys can clip it, whatever. If he has a healthy year, he will be in the MVP candidate situation. Okay, healthy. Now, if he goes through and misses 4 games, yeah, we can talk. We can't talk about that. And maybe he is a bust. Maybe if he goes and gets hurt, like he was last year, he got hurt. He couldn't perform. Half the being good in today's football is being healthy. It's what Drake May has done. Like he started every single game. He has not gotten hurt once. Caleb Williams, I don't think he's gotten hurt, but I think talent wise, if we're going attribute for attribute, IQ, accuracy, deep ball accuracy, the ability to run, I'm going Jaden Daniels. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, you're biased. I'm just looking at this, like the statistics of last year. Okay. He played, I don't know, a handful of games compared to his first year and his second year. I mean, I think he played less than half the games, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm taking probably Caleb Williams second. And then, I mean, that's a guy, yes, he has a lot of weapons, but talent wise, he's there. Arm talent, he can use his legs. But I'm taking Caleb Williams second. I'm taking Drake May third, and I'm taking Bo Nix last. That's just me.
All right. So for me, I've got a different number one. So kind of like what you were saying with the injuries and stuff, I also think availability is the best ability, right? As much as I do genuinely think Jaden is still the most talented quarterback in the class, but I think once again, like he's been getting hurt, got to be on the field to win football games. So I think when I think about that, I think I have to go Drake May number one.
Oh my god!
I think I have to go Drake May number one. And again, this is saying
Wow.
Drake May hasn't performed super well in the playoffs. He didn't had a phenomenal. He's in the MVP conversation this year and stuff like that. Again, strength of schedule has stuff to do with that. But I think Drake May is going to be really good for years to come. So I think he goes one. I think Jaden is number two. I think that we still end up with Jaden in this QB redraft because the Bears end up with May, I guess, in this scenario here. And then this is where it actually gets tough, the 3 and 4 spot for me. So I am the world's biggest Caleb Williams hater. I'm going to come out and say it. I don't like the guy at all. But I think putting my pure unfiltered hatred aside to the guy, I think he has to go 3 in my spot. I think he's a bit better than Bo Nix. And this is not to say Bo Nix is bad, and I hate that we have 4 lists having him go second or having him go dead last here because he's been to the playoffs twice now in 2 years. Like he's good, but at the same time, like I don't see the same flashiness and like big playability out of Bo Nix that I necessarily see out of any of the other 3, honestly. And Bo Nix can run the football. He's got a phenomenal defense to help him out over there too. So it takes a little bit of the load off his shoulders. I think if we're talking really good systems, I think Bo Nix is probably in the best system for him. And again, like it's a tough list though because you got four guys, all four have won playoff games now, and then we're in year two. It's so tough to really. It's super opinionated. Like if I was a Denver fan, I'm probably putting Bo Nix no lower than two. But
I disagree.
you disagree? How so?
I think Broncos fans are aware. I'm not saying when I'm giving my list, all these quarterbacks are top tier, I think. Okay, and it's super hard. And yeah, I'm biased a little bit probably because
Oh,
I'm a
we're
Commanders
all
fan.
biased. We're all
But I
biased.
tell you, put on the film, watch the deep ball accuracy, watch what he can do with his legs when healthy. Jaden Daniels is your guy.
No,
So Cole,
I agree.
Cole, did you give all of yours?
Yeah, no, I
You
gave
agree?
all mine, but I'm
Okay.
gonna say what go on with what Grayson said. That I 100% agree. I think if Jaden Daniels is healthy, I think Jaden Daniels is easily the best one, number one every single time. Just the big question mark for me is whether or not he actually can be on the field, right? Like again, if he can't
That's
play,
important.
it doesn't really matter how good he is, how good we know he is if he's sitting on the sideline every single week. So that's why I put Drake May above him, just because Drake May has been available for pretty much two. I don't think he played like the first couple games of like the season a while ago. Either way, he's pretty much got two full seasons under his belt, completely healthy. He runs a good offense. He shows the same kind of playability that Jane Daniels has with his legs. Like I know he didn't put up 800 yards his rookie year or stuff like that. I get that, but he can still run the football, move the football when he needs to. He doesn't really turn the ball over a whole lot unless you're talking the playoffs. But that's two totally different like styles of football. I think health is a big factor. I think it matters a lot, and that's why I have Drake May one, Jaden two.
Okay. So you're done. You gave me your four. Okay. Super simple for me. That's very easy. Number one, Jaden Daniels, always going to be number one. Jaden Daniels is going to win the Super Bowl. He'll be the first one to win a Super Bowl, and it is going to be with this, probably with this god awful defense. And the reason why I say
I'll hold
Jaden
off till
Daniels,
next week before you call that shot.
I say Jaden Daniels is going to win number one because he's going to win the first one because nobody had to carry a team more than he did, and he had the year that he had. He played with a team that sucked. I mean, they sucked. Their defense sucked. Every single time they went down the field, they scored on us. He had to go down and do something. How many games did he win single handedly? And yes, there was some luck. All these other guys have good teams. They all have pretty good teams, other than Drake May. But Drake May on his team that sucked, he sucked. He had a terrible year last year. He didn't have a great year. Caleb Williams, his team sucked. Guess what? He sucked. Jaden Daniels' team actually sucked. And the only reason why they went to the NFC Championship game was guess what? Because of Jaden Daniels. All these other teams that are in the playoffs now and have done really, really well are because they got better players on the team and they have probably better coaches. We'll see, and I think that what Jaden Daniels did his rookie season, I don't think that's ever going to be repeated again. Now, granted, I'll give Cole, he has to be healthy. He has to be healthy. He has to learn how to play within his own, restraints. He's not going to be one of these big guys. But I say he can be healthy because you look at guys like Bryce Young and you look at guys like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson a little bigger than he is, but he's learned how to play and stay upright. So I think that Jaden Daniels obviously is number one. Number two for me is Caleb Williams. As much as I hate to admit it, the reason why I like Caleb Williams is because he can make plays from anywhere on the field. I hate that one throw that he made at the end of the Chicago game when they went to that play. It was a fluke, but he found the guy there and he made the completion. It's
Push
a fluke.
off.
It's basically a Hail Mary, but he made the play, and he's a team there, right? He's elevated that team. He makes a lot of mistakes. That's why I'm not saying he's not Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels makes very, very few mistakes. Caleb Williams makes a lot of mistakes. Bo Nix is my fourth. I'd say what I'm going to say. What's the guy?
Drake May.
Drake May is my third because I think because I think Drake May is a system quarterback. I don't think Drake May makes plays. He can run, yes, he can scramble, but he doesn't make those plays that Jaden makes and Caleb Williams makes. Those exciting, oh my God, I got to run around the corner and find somebody deep downfield and throw the Hail Mary pass. So I think he's probably 3. And I think 4 would be Bo Nix. And I only say Bo Nix is 4 because to me, I think there's accuracy issues there. I think his coach frustrates the shit out of him. Excuse my French. I think he is sometimes overly emotional and prone to making some bad decisions, but he's as talented as the other 3 guys for sure. So obviously I am biased, but my bias is based on my eyes and what I saw that first year. And I'm telling you, nobody did more with less than Jaden Daniels. That guy won more games because of himself. These other guys are great quarterbacks, but they don't win games on their own. They have good defenses, good offensive players around them. I just think that it's hands down Jaden Daniels, and I could be proven wrong, but he's certainly no RG3.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know what you mean by that last comment, but
you know what I mean.
I don't think I do.
RG3 was a bust.
Well, yeah, when you tear your ACL twice in the span of one calendar year, it's tough to come back from.
He was no Jaden Daniels. Personality-wise, there was no comparison.
I get that. I think what your point, though, since I was getting a little off topic there, your point that you made where you said Jane has done more with less, I wholeheartedly agree with. I think if you look at all the other rosters of these players that have brought their teams to playoffs and stuff like that, the Bears have a good roster up and down. They got a decent O-line. I know they made a lot of improvements last year. They were one of the worst O-lines in the league last year. Had an average O-line this year, I think, maybe even slightly above average. They have a good defense, good wide receiver room, although I know that every single one of the Bears fans right now hates DJ Moore for a throw that was Caleb Williams' fault. But
DJ Moore's a free agent.
Yeah, but he's also like 32. But yeah, like I think the run with Jaden Daniels last year, I mean, it was still like it was Jaden, Terry, and I guess Mikey Sarah still actually had a phenomenal playoffs. Those couple games as well. So I think it was like those 3 guys pretty much willed us all the way there. We still had
Brown.
we
still had Brown had a hell of a run.
No, he did. But like but that's not like those are just like random pieces, random players that made big things. It's not like we had an entire roster built that was complete. Like the Broncos, I think, have probably the most complete roster out of all the 4 quarterbacks right now. They have a top 2 defense in the league. They have a decent wide receiver room with Sutton and was it Pat Bryant or something? They probably need an extra wide receiver, but they still have Evan Ingram. They've got a good offense, good offensive line, really good defense. It's a lot of guys can succeed in a system like that. Patriots, similar. They have a really good defense. Offense, they could definitely use a couple more pieces, I think. I think Henderson's fantastic. I know Drake May is going to be good. I do think they need another wide receiver or 2. Yeah. And then what was I haven't made a comment. I said Bears and I said.
You said all of
them. I don't know. I covered all of them. Yeah. And I just, I don't know. I agree with that call.
I think bottom line, we're in for 10 years of great football with these quarterbacks, no matter what team you support. I'm going to support my team. I'm going to truly believe that Jaden Daniels, when healthy, is the best quarterback. And I will say that the most true comparison that we can make from Jaden Daniels and any other quarterback in this draft is Drake May, I think. Not physically wise at all, situation wise, I will say. Because they had Kayshon Boutte as their number 2 guy. Okay. They have Stephon Diggs, who is out of his prime. Okay. They have young running backs, or not even really young. They have Ramondre Stevenson is not elite. Okay. He's not elite. They have young offensive tackles or a guard, that Will Campbell guy, very good. But this is a team you're just putting together players and hoping they succeed. And Drake May has changed their team indefinitely.
But the difference is they have a great defense. And they have a great defensive coach. And their defense has bailed them out multiple times. I agree with you. But we have imagine if we had a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine. But, hey, listen, we're running up on an hour and 15 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you next time. Next time, maybe we'll try to do one just before the Super Bowl, and we'll get your picks on who you think's going to win. But I think we already kind of did that. But it's always fun hanging with you guys. We love anybody that listens, and please drop us a note on Spotify or Instagram or whatever. We're happy to get any feedback. Hey, shut your dogs up, that type of stuff. Sorry about that. That's why I had to leave. My dog was barking like crazy. So that's Oshie and Duncan. If anybody
Yeah.
wants to know, we got 2 corgis and they love to bark at inopportune times. So I apologize for that. We'll try to clean that up for next time.
Just
And
one thing. I just
ahead.
want to say thank you to everybody that watches. We really enjoy doing this, but what makes it a lot more fun and interactive is if you guys comment down below, give us topics to talk about. We can cover the things that you guys want to talk about. Like one of the comments was 2024 quarterback redraft. We just went over that. Hit us with hard questions. What's the
Yeah.
worst part about our team? Stuff like that. Best part about our team.
So, I love getting feisty, so
Yeah.
that ain't no problem.
No,
The more
Cole
you
doesn't.
guys comment, the more you guys, get engaged, the more fun it is for us. So,
Yep. Please. Thanks again, guys, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Take care.